Welcome to Mountain Movers Podcast, where we know everyone has mountains in their lives, but the difference is how you attack them. A run, a tiptoe, a backslide, and do it all again. We believe daily action steps are the answer. So today we have our first gent on the podcast, my husband, Craig D. Vassell. And we thought it would be really interesting to get his perspective because girls are always talking about in-laws and outlaws and all of the relationships in between. And we thought it would be really cool to hear his perspective. So the interesting thing is Craig actually knew my family before he knew me, which is kind of funny to think about. He knew,
a little bit.
Yeah, he knew them before me. So tell me.
I guess I was the outlaw.
You were the outlaw? Okay.
That came to town.
Kind of. He came from 3 hours away. So I guess if that's an outlaw. So tell me what it was like knowing my family, then meeting me, then our relationship, and just, yeah, let's talk about that.
Can you break that down a little bit? Okay, so first, knowing your family before knowing you. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I was with my one buddy, and so there wasn't a whole lot of people that I was hanging around with in town and things like that. So I was coaching your brother, and I mean, obviously, little Bub, who doesn't love Bub? So, I just quickly was drawn to him, and then your mother was so nice because she was always talking to me at track meets and helping me with spaghetti dinners and things like that. I mean, I was a brand new coach. I've never coached before, and your mom just kind of came along and kept offering a hand and things like that. So I don't know, slowly I still just started pushing my way into the family. I don't know if I was bored or what. But I remember meeting you. I was at the track meet. It was at the long jump pit. And started talking to you. And I don't know. I think the one big memory I have, along with just meeting you for the first time, was going to the La Fiesta and kind of inviting myself to the birthday party.
He invited himself to my mom's birthday dinner. Yeah. Like, we're all talking about, oh, yeah, we're going to do this. And he's like, so, what's this? So, where's that? And what time? And, oh, yeah, I'll come.
Showed up.
Okay. So, obviously, my family quickly and easily took to you. In fact, my mom had to, tell me repeatedly that I needed to start liking you.
Yeah.
But it worked. No big deal.
Yeah, something like that.
No biggie, no brainer.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we were in a relationship, and our relationship moved pretty quick.
Wait a second.
Well, okay, what?
Because, I mean, your family was all loving me. Oh. But when we first were meeting, you wanted really nothing to do with me. Well. You kept pushing me away. And maybe that was part of my challenge or something.
That could have been it. Okay, that could have been it. But obviously that all worked out at some point.
At some point in time it worked out. You gave in, I guess.
I surrendered. So I surrendered and we started our relationship and it moved really fast because we were like, hey, let's start dating. And by the way, let's buy a house. And so we did that.
Why not?
So everything happened pretty quick, but my family knew you a lot longer than your family knew me.
Yeah, that's true.
And so...
Plus the distance.
The distance, yes. Yeah. They were 3 hours away. So our families are pretty different. Is that...
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
True statement.
So how was it for you coming around my family being as they were so different from your family?
I think for me, it was a little bit easier to get to be a part of it because I was around them a lot more. So they got to know me a lot quicker than like my family got to know you, and for you to get to know my family.
Right.
So I think there was a little bit of difference there that, my family wasn't going to see you, but a couple times a year, those types of things. So they really had limited opportunities to like really get to know you. Whereas I was around you and your family all the time. I mean, at the time you were living at home. And so when I came over, I was hanging out with your mom, your brother, your dad, your aunts, and all of them. So I was around really all the time. So it was a little bit different, I guess, in terms of how we got to know each other and how that dynamic. So, and plus, like, your family is a lot different than my family. So your family is used to, I don't know, chaos.
Yeah.
Is that a true
Yeah.
statement word?
That's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So new people in and out.
Yeah.
Kind of go with the flow.
Plus, your brother was still in high school.
Right.
So at that time, you had all of his friends in and out as well, and those types of things. So it was a lot different.
Yes. So opposed to and my brother was obviously still in high school, so hadn't been married or any of those kind of things. So whereas your family, I was basically, other than grandchildren, I was the last adult to enter.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's true.
I just realized that when I just said that.
Yeah.
So I was officially an outlaw, and not to anyone's fault, but I was the last adult to enter.
To like come in and be a part of it, and how's that going to work?
Yes.
Yeah.
And where my family had a lot of different players and in and out, and since then we've had divorce and we've had remarriages and those things. Your family unit has remained the same people of family unit.
Yeah.
And then I come bebopping in, and I'm different.
Yeah. We could say that.
And so,
well, like, I guess the right way, like, my family, I would say they're very organized. They want to be very planned and, planned in advance and things like that. Where me and you, and me as well, so I'm not saying you, me as well, is kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and those types of things. So our personalities are just a little different as well.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong, right or wrong for any one of those,
Right. And Erica and I talked about that it's not that there was anything right or wrong or better or worse about our families. It was just so different.
Yeah.
And so the story I told about the first time that I stayed at your parents' house and I woke up and the whole house was silent. And Erica said, like, did you think the rapture had come? And I said, yeah. I thought, like, everyone's gone and I'm at this lake house and I have no idea how I got here. And when I walked downstairs, everyone was sitting silently at the table.
Yeah, drinking our coffee, reading the newspaper, just loving it.
Right.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Right. And my mom said the same thing, like, enjoy the silence. But for me, it was just...
I bet you appreciate the silence more now that we have 3 kids and we're always screaming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now I have evolved to like the silence. But still, really, I don't like silence. That's just part of... I like background noise.
Obviously.
At all times. I like...
Listen to podcasts 24/7.
Yeah, I just like to have something else going on.
Yeah.
Silence unnerves me.
Yeah.
It makes me start to feel edgy.
You should work on that.
Yeah, I think it's my thoughts. They speak a little too loud if it's too quiet outside. The inside starts talking too loud.
Unleash the thoughts.
Right, yeah. Right. Unleash the dragon, I know.
Yeah.
So all in all, we can say we came from 2 very different families.
Different circumstances.
To this day, we're ever evolving and changing. But we've realized the good that comes in learning about different families and the types of, relationships that we can build within those families. I don't know, just kind of going outside of ourselves. I feel like it's been my mountain to assimilate into a family that feels so different from me, just because my personality sometimes struggles with that.
Sure. I think the other part of that, though, is, or I guess what I'm taking out of it is that you never close the door. Like, I think for like some people and like their mountains, they might with their in-laws or whatever just say, "Well, I'm never going to get along." Like, when you start using those always and nevers, then that's what could be a detriment to the relationship. So you kept the doors open, and it was a lot of learning and growing, you know. But so I guess that's what I have to say about that piece of it.
Yeah. And I think over time, I've learned to appreciate their love for our children
Oh yeah,
and how much they, building the relationships with our kids and how
yeah,
much they want to be a part of our kids' life and how important that is, because so many people don't have grandparents and don't
hmm,
have families, and how much my family has changed over just the last past years. If we weren't close with your family then too, our kids would be missing out on a whole lot
yeah,
because we've lost people and people
yeah,
have fallen away. And so I'm thankful for the relationship, even though your family is far away, but we still have that, and our kids feel close when we go there and when they come here and when we
and I
see
think
them.
our kids feel really close to them too, even though they don't get to see them all the time.
Yeah.
They're always talking about them
Mm-hmm.
and those types of things. So yeah, I think that's a really cool thing.
Right. Anything else to wrap it up?
I don't know at this point. That was a lot in a short amount of
It was. It
time.
was.
Great job, Katie and Craig. What a fun interview that was to listen to. So that about ends it for us with part 2 of our Outlaw episodes. Tell us what you guys thought about it. What are some of your stories and some of your first meetings of the Outlaws? We would love to hear about it. Stay tuned, because next week we will be talking a little bit about what we're thankful for, our Thanksgiving traditions, and you might hear a little bit from our families. Until then, get out there and move those mountains.